This tutorial illustrates the functionality that's available to someone configured as a time and expense manager. The user will enter their email address and password and click on the sign in button to access the system. The My Work screen will appear as a default screen, highlighting information that may be of interest to the manager. We can see that it highlights personal information, for example, when they last input their timesheets, when they last entered in expenses, and if they've got any unclaimed expense items. It also shows them the status of their own expense claims. So I can see that I've submitted one expense claim that's awaiting approval. But it also shows me any expense claims that have been registered on behalf of my staff. So in this particular example, I can see that I've got 4 expense claims that need to be approved. And I've got 1 expense claim that I have approved and it's been submitted for payment, and this is highlighted just in case I need to chase it. To approve an expense claim, simply click on this link. This will highlight the 4 expense claims. I can then view an individual expense claim. I could choose to disapprove an individual expense item. If I did this, what this would do is it would mark this particular expense item as being disapproved. It would retain this expense claim, but it would automatically detach all of the other expense items ready for those to be submitted in a subsequent expense claim. So to accept an expense claim, I simply click on the accept link. I can enter in some notes to advise the finance department. Maybe perhaps some receipts were not supplied or were lost somewhere along the lines. And this expense claim has disappeared off the screen. I can now see that this figure here has gone down to 3 expense claims, and this has increased. So I now have 2 expense claims which have been approved and are awaiting payment. There's a similar process for timesheet approval. So if I click on timesheet and click on approval, this screen is slightly different. The first thing I might want to do is I might want to build up different lists of employees. So if I had a development team and testing team, so I can create different lists, and then I can add resources to the lists. I can choose to filter all of the timesheets, incomplete timesheets, timesheets where there's 0 hours, and I can also filter approved or disapproved or unapproved timesheets. In this particular example, we'll choose unapproved timesheets. To approve timesheets, I click on the timesheets belonging to a resource for a given week. I can now go in, and if I have permission, I can edit those timesheets. But if I wish to approve all of those, I can select all of them or deselect individual timesheets. Then I can select the approve selected timesheets. And I could choose to disapprove, approve, or if I've disapproved a timesheet and I want to unapprove it, I initialize it back to the start of the process. I could select this, but in this example, I'll simply choose to approve all of these timesheets. Okay, those timesheets have all disappeared now because they've been approved. And if I return back to the approvals screen, I can see that those no longer need approving. For further information on the timesheet management functionality, please refer to the other videos which relate to timesheet entry and expense entry to understand how those features work, or refer to the user guide for further information.